One key step in transitioning from a no-code software to a traditional tech stack is making sure that we can still use the data that we've collected from the no-code application and use it in the new software. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. So I spent the last year creating software with no-code tools, but I quickly realized that no-code is great for MVPs, POCs, and getting started quickly. But if you want to scale your software, you're eventually going to outgrow the no-code platform that you're on. So late last year, we decided to create a tech stack that would give us the same fast setup time of no code, but also provide us with the flexibility and scalability that comes with a traditional tech stack. We decided to go with Java on Spring Boot using MongoDB in the back end and deploying with AWS. Now that our traditional tech stack is in a more stable state, and we've been able to replicate some of the functionality that was originally in no code in Java, the next part is taking the data that we have in the no-code platform, in this case it's Glide, and trying to import it into Mongo, and then seeing if we can actually interact with that data with some of the services that we've built over in the new software. So the reason why we even have to clean up this data is because when we created the solution in no code, there were some fields that in retrospect we did not know should have been not freeform fields and maybe pre-selected type fields. In any case, the formatting is kind of off and it needs to be consistent, and it also allowed for duplicates. So with the 2.0 version of the software that we're creating on a traditional tech stack, we want to make sure that we are able to clean that up, get rid of duplicates, ensure that the data is standardized so that we don't end up in the same situation that we were in before. So I wanted to show you this because this is actually really cool. I use Claude AI a lot for coding help, but I didn't know that it would be able to clean the data for me. I thought maybe it would create a script for me, but it looks like it's actually cleaning up the data and making it more consistent so that I can import it into Mongo myself. I literally just uploaded the file, asked it to get rid of inconsistencies or duplicates, and it is writing a CSV file for me. And it also gave me the code on how to do it myself. Originally it said that it couldn't create the file, but I just probed it a little bit more and now it's creating it for me. So even with AI tools, I always say that there is still so much manual process that goes into it in terms of checking correctness, making sure that what it gives you makes sense. So I've been going back and forth with Claude for like 15 to 30 minutes now, trying to get it to give me the correct formatted file. Originally, I thought that what it was giving me was going to work, but it didn't. I actually need a JSON file that I can then use to import into Mongo, the Mongo collection with Mongo Compass. A CSV file could also work too, but I think that this is probably just a cleaner approach. So that's the approach that I'm going to take. This is Mongo Compass and kind of where we're seeing how we interact with our database. This is connecting to our dev instance, which is also hosted in AWS. We have some dummy data in here, and so I'm trying to figure out how to import this data that I exported from Glide. We have items and tag numbers, and both of these should be options for our items. So I think that what I'm gonna do, I might honestly just end up creating two separate collections that we'll use, because an item has an item ID and a tag number and a QR code and a few other fields. So I'm trying to figure out the best way, or like the smartest way to do this. Okay. So I decided that I'll create a collection that's just item IDs, a collection that's just tag numbers, and those will be the collections that we will provide as drop-down options for when we are trying to generate the QR code. And when we generate that QR code, we will create an item object which has both item ID and tag number. So that's the overall approach here. So I created the item IDs collection, create an endpoint that will, import and make, do all this crazy stuff. But I don't think I need to do all that. Though it might be helpful, maybe. I just have to make sure that the data types are consistent. But it looks like we are just using strings, and I will confirm that. I need to confirm that in the code. And if that's the case, then we should be good. One of the reasons we decided to go with MongoDB is just because the flexibility that the database provides. It's not as I don't know how else to say it, just the flexibility that's available there. And in addition, it has really good integration with Spring and Java. So I kind of liked that. It kind of made that process a little bit easier. So it is the end of the day, and I got the data to load in the back end, and even that's not perfect. I bounced between Claude AI and ChatGPT trying to help me clean up the data, and there's still some issues with it, but ultimately I know how to import the data, so I know that that's not going to be an issue, which is really the overall bigger picture that I was trying to accomplish today. And in terms of getting the front end to load the data that I imported, I spent, I want to say like almost an hour, maybe a little more, trying to get that to work. But since I'm not familiar with front end, it just wasn't going very well. Because like I've said in multiple videos, you can check this one out. When you're using AI, if you're not familiar with that language or that tech stack that you're using AI for, if you're not familiar with a certain tech stack or a certain language, certain framework, and you're trying to use AI to supplement that information or that knowledge, it usually doesn't go very well. AI works best when you know what you're doing or you know the language. So I feel like I wasted some time there. So I decided to just scrap it, and I will do the I will do the UI piece at a later time because I'm burnt out at this. I am burnt out at this point. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.